Pleased on this Friday night, we'd like to thank his family, Lisa and his three children, who I believe are all here, for sharing him with us on a Friday night like this. So without further ado, please give Doug, our 9th District United States Congressman, a warm welcome.
Well, good. Well, it is good to be here because literally I got off a plane at about 3:45. I took a walk through the crowded airport, got to my car. I said, I'll be there in time. I may even go down and get a milkshake at Chick-fil-A and kick back. And right now my rear end is conformed to the back of a truck because for 2.5 hours I've been waiting to get here. But I was not stopping. I was keeping going and pushed a few people out of the way because the reason we're here tonight is a very special reason. And I just want to thank Darren. I thank you for that. And now, Wayne, again, anybody want to take the building, go right ahead. You run across people in your life that make a difference. And you run across people in your life that want to invest themselves first. There's a lot of young people here tonight. There's a lot of folks who work on this campaign, a lot of folks who work on our campaigns, and we'll be working on all as we go forward. And what we have found today many times is there's a generational issue that's coming up that says, I want something, but I don't want to work for it. There's something in our country that has become inherently disconnected and says that we want it all, but we don't want to put the effort into it. And what I have found when I became friends with John Breakfield we're going on about 7-8 years ago now, was I found somebody who was willing to put in the time and the effort to work, to learn not only in the firm that he worked for, to learn the law, to learn that practice of growing a family, but also of how to interact with people, how to talk with people, and how to begin to build relationships. And if you don't believe it's work, look around you here in this room. It's not just simply saying, I'm going to do something because I can. It's about saying that I have put forward the effort to learn and make relationships. And now, after working with others to see them elected, working with others to have their cases settled, to let justice and hope come to different families in this community, he is now stepping forward to run for state court judge. And it's that kind of commitment is our community needs. John and I spent a lot of times on that floor in the courthouse, doing arraignments, talking about what we do different, sort of looking in the future. And for John in the courtroom, it is something that I believe Hall County will benefit greatly from. You see, it takes a special person to be a state court judge. I've appeared before state court judges many times. There's state court judges there to present sometimes at the hardest case from people who are mad and want their day in court because they run a stop sign that they swear they only roll through. They need a judge that will listen to them in cases of violence, cases of DUI. They need a judge who will apply the law and not apply his own feelings to legislating from the bench. They wanted someone who would take the law and have compassionate concern for the prosecution and the defense. Because if you ever lose sight of those two, then all of us are in trouble in our communities because it is a balanced system with a judge using sound mind to make the case. You see, a conservative is someone who does that. A conservative says, I know my role. I know what I am to do. And he'll apply the law faithfully and equally and leave those times. So when you leave the courtroom, you may have lost. As an attorney, I never minded really at times. I would lose, but if I lost, the judge at least listened to me. Okay, I got a fair shake. And what I believe John will bring to the state court bench is fairness. I see it in his family. Asher and the boys. You see, you can tell a man not only how he's going to be public, but how he is privately. And what I see as a family man and someone who has instilled in his young boys a civic commitment and duty to justice and fairness and being a part of a system which they benefit greatly from. So for us in this room, the question is not, do we just stand on the sidelines? The question tonight is do you get involved? as you have tonight by giving of your time and your money to be here, to enjoy fellowship and food. The question is can you do more? Can you go out and tell others? This is the kind of man we need on our state court bench. This is the kind of man that we need when others come to Hall County and they may not have ever been here before, and they get somehow into the court and the legal system, and they walk up there and they say, you know, I don't know a lot about Hall County, but if they put out people like John Breakfield, then I know that that's a place that's a pretty good place. As we look at that, and I look across the room at some dear friends, you know, sometimes ideological divides come together when you listen to each other. The one thing you don't need many times is you don't need a judge to dominate the courtroom. The judge is there for the fairness and for the aspect of listening to a case well argued and being there to render the decisions that need to be made. John will do that. I would not do many things for a lot of people sometimes, and especially on a Friday afternoon after we have been in Washington, D.C., which is the epitome at times of a train wreck. But I got on the plane this afternoon thinking it's the end of the week, and I got on and I remembered I had 4 phone calls, and all of a sudden I looked and I said, tonight I get to go and stand for somebody who stood for me, to stand for somebody who's walked with me many miles, to stand for somebody who means a lot to this community. And yes, it took a Delta flight that only took a little over an hour to get here, and it took a 2.5-hour ride in the back of my pickup truck. But it is my privilege, it is my honor to be here because I want to see this community strengthened. And the way I see that happening on state court bench is by electing John Breakfield. It is my privilege to endorse my friend. He's a friend of this community, and he'll be a friend of this community for many years as he serves us as state court judge. I give to you the next state court judge from Hall County, John Breakfield.